I bought the firm over the holiday break. When everyone came back in the new year, I clearly remember walking in, opening the door, and realizing I'm opening the door to my shop. I did that. That memory really stuck with me. I've always been very entrepreneurial. Every job I treated like it was my own. So on the surface, not much changed about the way I was acting, but it did feel different, knowing that it was mine. A firm like this is very rarely owned by one person, and even less frequently is that one person a woman. I'm so glad I was brave enough to take that step. Hi, I'm Anastasia Rebro. I'm the managing partner of Farnham Company. For much of my career as an accountant, I was on autopilot, just doing the automatic next thing. Study accounting, get a job, take the promotion, keep moving. I was successful, but I didn't have a clear sense of purpose. Over time, I started to look around and think what I really wanted to accomplish. Around the same time, I joined Farnham as part of their senior management team. I was hired to help guide the business into its new phase. I was loving my job and excited about the future. Then Steve, the owner, told me he was thinking about selling to an interested buyer. And I thought, well, I don't want it to be sold. Driving home that night, I was bummed out, thinking I needed to look for a new job. And then it hit me, why don't I buy the firm myself? So I called Steve and I said, don't accept the other offer. Give me the weekend to run the math. The numbers worked. It was possible for me to take on a pretty substantial bank loan to match the other offer. And the math suggested that as long as I don't let the business shrink, I could maintain my level of earnings and slowly chip away at the debt. So that's what I did. I put on my big girl pants, took on a lot of debt, and signed up for a lot of life insurance, just in case. Of course, courage and math only take you so far. Having the bank believe in me and give me that loan turned the idea into reality. That support gave me the confidence and the capital to take control over my destiny. Since then, the business has grown, and it's been going incredibly well. We've doubled in size and started solving age-old accounting issues in innovative ways. And that growth has been entirely organic. My philosophy about growth is simple. It can't be about ego. There has to be a reason to get bigger. Bigger isn't always better, and it isn't always more profitable. We didn't buy up other firms or chase top-line numbers. We just did great work day after day and built a name for ourselves. That pace was deliberate. In this business, it takes time to do things well, and reputation is everything. At first, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm the type of person who wants to please everyone. I want my employees to think it's the best job. I want my clients to think it's the best firm, but perfection isn't possible. What's perfect for one person will never be perfect for another. So I had to let go of that mentality. I've accepted that it's good to be at 80%. If my team is 80% happy, that's a win. If clients feel satisfied most of the time, that's a win. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about building something sustainable. Another big part of leadership for me is mentoring younger people. In our industry, it's really common to hire kids out of university. They come in not really knowing what this job will be like or whether it's even right for them. One of my favorite parts of my job is helping them figure that out. Sometimes they stay and work with me, sometimes they move on. Either way, my hope is that they leave with clarity and look back on their time here with fondness and gratitude. I've taken the same approach with culture. In this industry, culture isn't usually top of mind. Public accounting is often seen as a grind. You do the hours, get your designation, suck it up. People accept it as part of the job. But I thought, we're a bunch of really smart advisors. Why can't we advise ourselves on how to build a better business? So when I bought the business, culture was a priority. Not surface level things like parties and perks, but real change that affect job satisfaction. One of the first things I introduced was a new approach to compensation. We ask employees to tell us what they think is fair. They go do the research, talk to peers, and come back with a proposal. And when you hire good, fair, and reasonable people, they bring you good, fair, and reasonable numbers. Sometimes there are gaps, but at least we can have a conversation about it. People were nervous at first, but once they saw colleagues getting exactly what they asked for, word spread, and now we have 100% participation. That kind of transparency has been transformative. We also take the whole team away for a 4-day retreat down south. It's not about accounting, it's about connection and growth. The sessions are about how to get more out of life, how to be happier and more fulfilled. The rest is pure bonding, playing sports, sitting by the pool, just relaxing together. Having everyone enjoy each other's company is one of the best investments we've made. These things are unconventional in our industry, but they've made a real difference. They help us create a place where people feel valued and seen. It's not just another accounting job, but a culture that recognizes the person behind the role. And it works the same way with clients. Trust isn't something you get automatically. You have to earn it and keep earning it. For me, that means showing up, delivering on expectations, and going beyond what's on paper. Our clients aren't just tax returns and financial statements. They're people with families, dreams, and challenges. We see them in the early days while they're just starting out, and we celebrate when they break through and have success. Later, we will watch them transition the business to their kids or sell it after years of work. It may sound corny, but it isn't just accounting. It's being part of somebody's life story. And that's what makes it so meaningful. And being the owner of my firm has given me a deeper perspective on all of it. I don't just advise entrepreneurs, I am one. I know what it's like to carry the risks and stresses. It's a privilege to own your business, but it's also lonely at the top. And because I'm a peer, we can put our brains together and get to the best outcome. I find conversations with other entrepreneurs really satisfying because they truly understand the realities of owning a business. You need a strong support system. For myself, that also includes the bank. They know my business at a deep level and they bring resources and capital to help me act on my vision with confidence. Having that kind of collaborator really matters. People sometimes assume that when you own a business, life is easy and money rains from the ceiling, or that success just means you got lucky. But luck has nothing to do with it. It's risk and grit and creativity and the courage to keep leading even when it's hard. You can never take your eye off the road because today's success doesn't guarantee tomorrow's. What changed for me is clarity. For years, I was simply taking the next step by default, but buying this firm gave me the purpose and direction. Now I know why I'm here and what I'm building. And I've learned that if you have a goal, it's completely within your power to step toward it. You might not always succeed, but you can always try. In my case, that step was having the courage to bet on myself and buy the business, and I'm grateful every day that I did. I think financial clarity actually removes the risk. I'm an accountant, so to me, math is everything. If math works, there is no risk. So you could do sensitivity planning, you can imagine the worst case scenario, and if in the worst of all cases, things are still okay, then there's really no risk. So to me, it's about modeling things out, imagining what could happen in scenario A, B, and C, and if you're okay with outcomes A, B, and C, then you can just move forward with clarity and ease and not really worry about the unknown. I could talk about it both from my own perspective or what I see in my clients. My clients are all entrepreneurs, and that means paying attention to the numbers is not their preference. They look at that as a necessary evil, but not as something that helps them run their business. What helps me the most is staying on top of my numbers. So monthly numbers that tell me how my business is doing every month is what keeps me engaged and connected and helps me steer the business in the right direction if I need to. Unfortunately, not everybody has that on the list of their priorities. I highly recommend that they do.